Good evening, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am so happy to be back from the Bahamas. I enjoyed myself, but I am glad to be back here for Tuesday. So happy to be back. So come on in and join us. We're going to have a dynamic show today. I can't wait to get started. So just come on in. Well, welcome to Build Your Best Life with Deborah D. Smith. You know that obstacles come in all forms. I mean, low self-esteem, depression, financial situations, lack of role models, lack of education, obesity, and these are just some of the obstacles that impact our young people. My platform is designed to assist high school age and young adult males as they follow my basic principles in order to build their best lives. You see, I believe it is better to train early rather than to fix later. This month, I have a theme. It is fall. Fall. And when I say fall, I am not talking about autumn. Fall, face down and living large, because that means if you live, there is a chance that you are going to run into obstacles, that you're going to fall. But guess what? You don't have to stay down. So I am just super excited today to have my special guest, Dr. Kevin Wilbon. Hi, Dr. Wilbon. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Great stuff. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dr. Wilbon, and then we are going to get started with these questions. Coach, Dr. Kevin Wilbon Sr. was born and raised in the urban parts of Washington, D.C. He is a retired U.S. Army military veteran of 24 years. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. Thank you.
His areas of expertise were logistics, arms room weapons, NCOIC, contracting, transportation, NCOIC, and Central Issuing Facility, NCOIC. His educational background is being alumni of Central Texas College of Killeen, Texas, National Louis University of Chicago, Illinois, Thoreau University of Calumet, California, and North Central University of Scottsdale, Arizona. He holds five educational degrees, associates in arts, bachelor's of science and master's in education, an MBA, and a doctorate of education, educational leadership. Dr. Wilbon has been inducted into 6 prestigious honor society for his educational accomplishments and his 4.0 GPA. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Those honor societies are National Society for Black Engineers, National Society for Collegiate Scholars, National Society of Leadership and Success, Golden Key International Honor Society, Kappa Delta Pi Society for Educational Leaders, and Strathmore's Professional Who's Who Honors and Awards. I love it. Dr. Wilbon is also a high school varsity basketball coach for boys and girls, enjoying the success of capturing 3 boys Maryland State basketball championships, a boys Maryland State track and field championship, in addition to a couple of Christian private school varsity boys and girls basketball championships. His tenure as head coach and assistant coach resulted in over 3 dozen of his players becoming Division I basketball players, and a few ending up as NBA players and NFL players. That's awesome stuff. Dr. Wilbon is currently the high school and middle school head track and field coach with the Southern Maryland Christian Academy in White Plains, Maryland. Dr. Wilbon is certified in several areas in sports and has been for over 30 years. He is National Federal High School, Maryland, and Virginia certified in coaching and officiating basketball and track and field. Certified National Youth Sports Coaches, Alliance Level 1, 2, 3, and 4. USATF and AAU certified official and basketball coach. Dr. Wilbon has coached well over 1,000 kids. Finally, Dr. Wilbon is the founder and CEO of Wilbon Basketball Incorporation, WBI, which train kids from 6 to 18 in the fundamentals of basketball and track and field. Dr. Wilbon also currently partners with fitness owners John and Tammy Wright of the ABC Fitness Connect in Waldorf, Maryland, specializing in fitness and nutrition for adults and kids. The name of their venture is ABC WBI, Youth Conditioning Fundamentals. Dr. Wilbon is also a member of a gospel singing group named the Committed Sons. Dr. Wilbon has held over 15 jobs in his lifetime, starting from the age of 13. Great work ethics. Dr. Wilbon is a proud member of the Ark of Safety Christian Church in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, headed by Bishop C. Muse and First Lady Pat Lawson Muse, where he is on the usher board, choir board, and in the church drama club led by the president, CEO, and up-and-coming actor, director, writer, and visionary, Dennis Jones. Awesome stuff. Good evening again, and welcome, Dr. Wilbon.
Thank
You have been keeping it down.
I've been trying.
That's awesome stuff. But you know, life has a way of knocking you down. But you have choices. You can lay down for the count, or you can take a breath, get up, and change your course. Our topic for today is knocked down, but not counted out. Knocked down, but not counted out. Now, I know I told everyone about your accolades and everything, but you know, you always forget something. So is there something personal or something else that you would like to tell us before we get started?
No, I think you covered everything in reference to, me and everything. But, I just, appreciate, that you having me on. And I give all thanks to God first and my Lord and Savior and, my spiritual leader, C. Anthony Muse at Ark of Safety Christian Church. And by the grace of God, I'm still here and I'm able to discuss whatever it is that you want to discuss. So thank you.
Great stuff, great stuff. So we are going to get started. So we got some good stuff we're going to talk about. And I'm sure everybody is raring to hear from you.
Good. That's good stuff. Appreciate that.
All right. So good evening, Dan and Agnes. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, Dr. Wilbon, I believe that there are thousands of people every day who stumble and fall due to some life event. What do you think is the number one reason young men just don't try to get up?
I think the number one reason is because they was not taught to. I think that's the number one reason. It starts from when you're a kid, and it starts from home. And my thing is, it's a lot of things, even at a young age, that you want to do, and you may, have it in your sights. And then when you don't do it, you just say, oh, well, oh, shucks. But if you had that person, to take you to the side and sit there and talk to you and let you know that it's okay and that you need to, dust yourself off, get back up and do it again. It's like riding a bike. You get on that bike, you fall down. You keep falling down, Eventually, you'll learn how to ride it. But the thing is, are you afraid to get back on it because it's going to hurt if you fall again? Or is it because you just feel like, I can't do this? So like I said, when you fall down, a lot of people, they just don't want to try it again because, either they're scared they're going to fail or they just lazy. That's how I look at it.
All right. That's good, because like I said, if they don't know, they can't do. So that's why we need, more people like yourself that are not going to look at our young men and say, "Oh, look at him. Why is he not, why is he not on the track? Why is he not playing basketball?" Instead of, reaching out and say, "Hey, we have this league over here. Are we doing this and that? Are you interested?" So give them a hand up and try to help them out.
Exactly. That makes a whole lot of sense. And like I said from the beginning, it starts from home. People at home, they need to talk to you. They need to discuss those type things, because as a child, you're not going to know, to get back up and do it again. You may have some that will do that, because you do have people out there that fall and get back up and keep trying because they're persistent in what they're trying to do. But then you have a lot, the ones that we're talking about, that don't want to get back up and don't want to do it because they never had someone to talk to them and let them know that it's okay. You can do this, so that's where we're at with that.
All right. That's good stuff. All right. So what impact do you think that mindset has on giving up or getting up? That mindset.
That the mindset, and that's a very good question, and is a very important one as well, because you have to have your mind trained. You have to have a mindset that I am. You're not going to pass everything. It's just like taking a test. You're not going to pass all the time. You show me somebody that passed every test in their life, and I'll show you somebody that's a billionaire as soon as they pass a test. You ain't gonna find that. So you're going to fail a test. It's somewhere along the line you're going to fail. But the thing is, if you have your mind trained that, okay, it's okay to do that, but I'm going to go back and give it an extra 100%. And I'm going to research and do whatever I need to do to get across that hump. Then you get that mindset. Once you got that mindset, then there's nothing that's going to stop you. But in order to get that mindset, you have to train your mind. So, a mind, you have two ways to look at it. It's going to be a negative thing if you don't do it, and it's going to be a positive thing if you do it. But the positive thing is, it's harder than the negative. It's easy to give up. It's very easy to give up.
Right.
But it's hard to stay positive. And if you can get past that and stay positive, sky's the limit. So you have to train your mind to know that, okay, it's okay, that I'm not going to pass everything, but my mind is set to, move on past whatever I didn't pass.
That's right. Because nobody is perfect. So, no matter how smart you are, I watched Jeopardy, and I missed some of the episodes last week, but I couldn't wait to get back yesterday. And I was wondering if Matt was still on, because he had passed one record, so he was trying to catch up with Jennings. Okay. And yesterday, he just didn't have it. I mean, but he would. Hey, his streak, I think, was 37 days. He won, and he won $1.5 million. So that wasn't bad. Right. But he, gave it his best, and he did his best. But hey, there was somebody else out there that was a little bit better on that particular day yesterday. So
that's exactly right. You win some, you lose some. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was watching the chase yesterday. I don't know if you know about the chase.
Yeah.
And Joe Morton was on there going against, the guy that does the chasing. And Joe Morton is a very, very intelligent man. And he had the guy in the corner and had the guy, to the point where I just knew Joe Morton was going to win. And this guy came all the way back from 15 down and beat them. So I'm like, Joe Morton he's a brilliant actor, very, very, very smart. But like you said, it's someone else out there that's a little smarter. But he just, grin and bear it. It is what it is. But I guarantee that if they were to go another round, Joe Morton would still go back at him. So right. I'm sure that, when you lose, you want to come back. You don't want to just lose and walk away. So walking away is not going to do anything for you. So a mindset is something that, as far as I'm concerned, a mindset should be a positive thing. Because if you have a negative mindset, you might as well just forget it.
All right. Yep. That mindset will take you out. It can make the difference in you going up or going down.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's another thing that needs to be taught as well. Because you're not going to just come in with a mindset. A mindset is something that needs to be trained. So that's another thing that needs to be talked about, needs to, have training.
All right. Very good. All right. So talking about that mindset and, so what we think and what we do, we react to. But one of the things I teach, I have like 5 pillars, and that first pillar is associations. So you got to watch out for those people that are around you.
Yes. And that makes a big difference.
A huge difference.
What you said is exactly on point, because the people that you hang with will deter and actually almost dictate the way that you're going to be. Because if you're going to sit there and follow, always be a leader. I always tell, my kids all the way up to, college, and it's a big thing. Everybody says a cliche, and I've been hearing that even when I was in elementary school. What are you, a leader or a follower? So you know right from wrong, you know bad from good. So if you're in a crowd that's doing bad and they don't want to do right, and you stay in that crowd, guess what? You're going to be just like them. So when you disassociate yourself with negative people, then that positivity will come to you. But as long as you're around negative people and hanging with people that's not trying to do right, you're not going to do right.
All right.
So that's exactly right.
So you answered my question. So hanging with those crowds can have a tendency to bring you down, because you can be the smartest one in the bunch. You can, be athletic. You can be a go-getter. But if something happens and you decide you want to listen to somebody else, and, that risky behavior that they are performing begins to look, it looks like fun, that can take you right down.
Take you right down. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And to be honest with you, I was one of them. I did that when I was young, when I was in junior high, when I was in elementary school. I thought by hanging with the people that was popular. And here's the funny thing. The one that's popular are the ones that's doing bad. Everybody, because they're noticeable. Everybody noticed them. And a lot of people like that kind of negative publicity. A lot of people liked, I was one of them. I thought that, hey, hanging with him, everybody will like me. But I seen as I got older, they disassociate themselves with me, because when things start getting serious, nobody want to be bothered with somebody, so that's a knucklehead. Let's just call it like it is. And that's what it was. So I had to learn the hard way to disassociate myself with those people that's going up the wrong path. So that's exactly right.
All right. So those people will get you in trouble, and then they'll be going, the other way. Because if you want to be somebody and go somewhere, you got to hang with those same type people. Because people, they can say that they're your friend, but then they know that they're doing something wrong. Hey man, come on, let's go do this. No, I don't want to do that. Man, don't be scared. We're gonna have fun, what's wrong with you? You don't have to do nothing.
That's exactly right. And what's so funny? The ones that they always talk bad about and clown are the smart ones. You notice that?
Right.
Back in the day, and they what they call geeks or whatever. But those are the ones that CEO of companies right now. You're trying to get a job from them, but you didn't want to do right. So my thing is, I'd rather be a geek with a lot of money than be cool and broke.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Another thing that, a lot of people talking about falling, where you fall and can't get up. But it's, one thing to be a good person and you just hanging out with people, but that statement they make about being in the wrong place at the wrong time, you can be, a person that always try to do the right thing, but you're going to hang with your friend. Your parents say, son, I know that's your friend, but he's not good for you, son. He's not just, his life's not going the right way. I've tried to talk to him. Your dad's tried to talk to him. He's not doing the right thing, son. You need to let him go. But I've known him since I was 3 years old. but it's okay, son. And then they won't listen. Then they, well, come on, man, get in the car with me. Oh, where you going? Oh, we just hanging out. Then they go and rob somebody or do something worse, and you in the car. Guess what?
Jail.
You going to.
You're going to. Because it's like you say, it's about association. It's who you associate yourself with. And, you know, and they use that word accessory, and they're not playing. You're going to get the same time they get. And whether you knew what they were doing or not, just by being with those people, those negative people, those people out there doing what they're doing, that's what's going to happen to you. And what you said is exactly right. My mom used to always tell me that, you know, I don't like you hanging with him. You know, don't hang with him. You know, so, and mama's always right anyway. So when mom tell me something, I'm listening to my mom.
Yep. You know, we have antennas everywhere.
That's right. That's exactly right.
All right. Good evening, Pat. And I think I saw Tiffany. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right. So why do some have the resilience to fall, get up, dust themselves off, and proceed, while others just like, you know what? They just throw in the towel. Just like, that's okay. I just give up.
Well, I think the reason for that is because they've done it before. You know, they've probably fell down a lot of times, and they want to be successful. And in order to be successful, they know that you're not going to always, you know, pass whatever you're trying to pass or get whatever you want to get. And they're trying to do whatever they can to strive as hard as they can for their goal. So when you got that, and like you, it's a mindset thing. That's another mindset thing, because they already know, okay, this is what's going to happen to me. You know, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to lay down and just say, forget it? Or I'm going to get back up and then try again. And these are things that, you know, that either has been taught to them or they experienced it so much that, you know, it's not a biggie to them. They can fall, they can get back up, and they'll go for it. Versus the person that's fell down, they may not have a plan B or plan C. And they just, you know, want to just focus on that one thing and say, you know what, since I'm not going to do this, you know, forget it. I'm just not going to do it. So that's what I think, that's one of the main reasons why you got some people, you know, that fall, you know, they dust themselves off, they get up and they go back at it, versus the people that, you know what, I just don't have it in me to do that. And that's, you know, that is a problem. That's a major problem today. And it definitely need to be addressed. But, you know, I put that on, you know, the older generation that's not talking to these, you know, young men and young women that, you know, that goes through this, you know, type of situation.
Yeah, we have to communicate and talk to them, you know, because a lot of times, even though it may be someone the same age as their parents, while someone may be hesitant to talk with their parents, they'll talk to that neighbor, they'll talk to that coach, you know, they'll talk to that mentor. So we have to be open when we see someone and they look like that, you know, hey, something's not quite right, you know, let's talk to them.
And you know what? Sometimes it's good to hear from other people, because a lot of times, you know, and my kids were the same way. You know, a lot of times I would say something to them and it may go over their head. But then when they hear from somebody else, and I'm sitting there listening to the person telling the same thing I told them, but they want to listen to that. So sometimes it's good to hear from other people, because that's like a confirmation. It's like a confirmation, because if my dad is telling me this and this other guy's telling me the same thing, then, you know, it may be right. It may be right. Because a lot of times, you know, as parents, you know, and I'm not saying everybody, but as parents, you know, kids think that we don't know what we're talking about. Our kids don't think we know what we're talking about, but we've been there and done that. So sometimes it's good to hear from other people. So, you know, and like someone has just put up on the screen, communicate. Communication is the key. If you don't communicate, how will they know? You have to communicate.
Yes. All right. You have to, that's what you have to do. You have to be there and you have to listen. And again, one of the things I think You know, you mentioned earlier you have 3 sons and they're all different generations. And so you can probably attest to this. I say it all the time, but it's based on my research. But I know you've lived it. I have lived it too, because mine are in different generations. But, you know, there was a time if you said, Christian, you know, you can't do this. You can't do that. You have to be in at 10. You can't eat past 9 o'clock. And they would say, yes, sir. This generation that we have now, you say those things, they look at you like you're crazy, because if you, you know, you sitting up there, you eating 12 o'clock at night, and they're like, okay, why are you gonna tell me I can't eat after 9? My food won't digest, and he's sitting there eating. They watch what we do. They watch what we act, and how we act, how we interact with others. And so we can't, you know, we got to walk the walk and talk the talk. We can't play games.
That's exactly right. And my thing is, like you said, you mentioned something that was key. Back in the day, back in the day, most kids respected their parents more so than what they're doing now. And I think it's because a lot of these parents are scared of their kids. That's what I think. And this is what I've seen. Okay, not just what I think, it's what I've seen. And my thing is, you know, I'm old school. I don't play that. This is my house. I paid for this. I paid for the food. I do whatever I need to do. You are a visitor. If you want to know the truth, you're a visitor. Okay. I can make you pay rent if I want to, but you are my son. Okay. And I am here to provide for you. Do as I do. I mean, do as I say and not as I do. That's exactly how you have to put it. And once they know that, you know, that they can go out in the street or go wherever they need to go, they won't do that. They'll listen to you. But my thing is, they don't do that. Yes, sir. No, sir. No more. You may see a few that do that. Everybody don't do that anymore. All right. But like that starts from home though. My kids do that. You know, they're very respectful to everybody. And that's the way that I was brought up, because, you know, my mother could be on the phone and I could be saying something I ain't got no business saying. She could be on the phone and pow, smack me while she talking, hit me dead in my mouth because I said something I had no business saying. All right. And what would I say? Nothing but cry. They don't do that anymore. You know, you can't do that anymore. You go to jail now. All right. You know, so I blame that partly on society, and these kids are very, very smart. They might as well be lawyers because they know the law. You hit me, I call the police, you going to jail. You couldn't even come out your mouth when I was coming up saying something like that. Because you know what? You'd be finding yourself outside that door sleeping outside. You know, so it's rough, but it's reality, and that's what we're faced with, and that's what we're dealing with. And we just need to get a grip and get a hold on that. And it's hard. It's very hard because society dictates how we raise our kids now. And that's bad because it wasn't like that before. We dictate how we raised our kids. But now society dictates that. So it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough.
Yeah. So, you know, society dictates that.
Yes,
exactly. They have the stigma on top of that. So, you know, you're not allowing us to do our jobs. But, you know, you want to say what they're not doing, or they're just thugs, they're just this, they have no manners, they don't blah, 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 blah. But
when we try to give them that, then you want to take that away from us. Right. So my thing is, you know, which way is it going to be? Are you going to let us raise them, or are you going to just go ahead and just lock them up and throw away the key? Because that's exactly what you're doing. And my thing is, you know, the kid, they know that. The young Black men, they know that. They know exactly what's going on. So, you know, it is rough. It's hard. But like I said, you know, it starts from home. Talk to your kids, you know, have a heart to heart and listen to them as well. Don't just talk to them. Listen to them. Because when you tend to listen to them, that gives them a sense of hope. That gives them a sense of, you know, I'm being heard. I'm not just getting yelled at or getting fussed at. They, you know, I'm getting my plight out there and they're listening to my plight. And that's how, you know, I see it today, you know, especially being around all the young kids that I've been around all the way up to college. You know, these college kids, you know, I talk to them. A lot of them are misunderstood because no one listened to them.
Right.
And they feel like no one is listening to them, that they're going to do the next best thing that they feel that is right. And it may not be right, but no one is listening. So I say communication, again, is a big factor in that.
All right. Yeah. So we're talking about, being knocked down, but not counted out. So as you just stated, that is so key, that listening. So, our kids, and nowadays, like suicide, that is among the top causes of death among our young people, even our young ladies. So, they are talking, we're trying to talk at them, we're not listening to what they're saying. They are showing us nonverbals. You should be able to tell in their demeanor if they used to be bubbly, now they're down, or they used to be quiet and now it's like they wilding out. Something is not right. So, have that conversation. Stop being at the table with everybody got their own electronics in their hand and you trying to eat and text and all of this.
Back in the day.
Now listen.
You are so right. You are so right. We could not do that back in the day. It's usually a family dinner and it's quiet. And if you got something you want to discuss, we would discuss it as a family. But you're not gonna have a phone at the table. We didn't have phones back then anyway to bring to the table. But you're not going to bring toys. You're not going to bring books. You're not going to do all this other stuff. You're going to eat. You're going to sit there, and then that's a great time to talk about some things as a family. But like you said, these kids now, they have earpods in, and they have their phone. They listen to music while they're eating at the table. So but that goes to who allows it and who doesn't.
All right.
So that's what that goes to. But that's the world that we're living in today. You hit it right on the nose with that.
Yeah. So we have to shift and make some changes if we want to see some changes. Because you said it earlier, they don't always know what to do. So they need someone there teaching them and guiding them along the way.
Exactly right. That is exactly right. And that's a big thing, for our kids, for the young men and young women as well. But, for our young men, that is key. Listen to them and talk to them and mentor them and give them, advice that they can hold on to, something that's going to help them, that they can identify with, that's going to help them, along the way. Don't just yell at them and fuss at them, chastise them, give them love and make sure, you're explaining yourself to them. Because a lot of times, we talk at them instead of talk to them.
Right.
If you talk to them, then, a lot of times they're buckle down and, they'll listen. Not everybody, but, most of them will. But, they will.
Yep. All right. Well, sometimes our young men fall because they don't know what they don't know. And you said that earlier. But how can we get some more mentors to step up and teach our young men early before they fall? I believe it's better to train early rather than try to fix later. So how can we get more mentors to step up before they get to that stage where it may be too late?
Okay, if you're going to be a mentor, then the first thing you need to do is take the time to build a relationship with that person or persons. Take the time to build that. And that takes time. That's not nothing, because you got to build that. You got to get their trust. Be an entrusted friend and maintain that trust. You have to do that. And that's a big thing. Once you gain a kid's trust, then they'll be open to you. They'll tell you what's going on. And you have to get their trust. And, that's what, and encourage them. Another thing is, give them encouragement. Don't tear them down. A lot of times, when kids or, young men talk to you, you may think some of their ideas are crazy or whatever. Don't tear them down. Encourage them. Talk to them about it, and let them know that, okay, this is not something realistic. Give them something that is realistic. And let them know the reason why what they want to do may not be realistic. Listen to them. We said that before. As mentors, we have to, listen to them and find out exactly what's going on, in their life. To see exactly what what they want to do. And another thing is, help them, to identify their goals. Help them to identify their goals and the reality of their goals. When you do that, you're building a platform for them. You're building steps and processes for them to get to where they need to be. But, make sure they identify them and, and help them realize, what they can do, as a mentor. You need to instruct them, develop their capabilities and everything that they're trying to do, and give them good instructions. If you are, a mentor and you have been doing it for a while and you're a very experienced mentor, that's something that's very, very important, for anyone, instruct and develop. And, and I think, one of the biggest things of all for a mentor to make sure you give constructive criticism, but give them corrective feedback in a way that does not come out too harsh. Because a lot of times people take things the wrong way, when you give them constructive, criticism. And, I never use the word negative feedback, because if you give them negative feedback, that means that what you're telling them ain't right. So I don't use negative feedback. I use constructive criticism and give them corrective feedback and make sure that you're not so hard on them when you give them that. So that's what mentors need to do. If they can do those type things there, then, they starting them off right. And, that relationship will grow and the kids will they will know exactly what they want to do. And, and it can start from there. That's how, you start your building block, in mentoring, whoever you're trying to mentor. So those are things I think that mentors need to do.
That's some good tips. Excuse me.
Thanks.
All right. So you gave us those tips. However, can you give us 5 tips that will motivate our young men to do what they need to do to get back up once they fall?
Okay.
Motivate them to get back up.
All right, I'm gonna tell you what they need to do to motivate them to get back up. First is what we talked about at the beginning of the show. Create a positive mindset for them. That's the first thing. Make sure they know that it's okay. I'm not going to use the word failure, but that's exactly, how they feel when they fall down. They feel like they're a failure. You're not a failure. You just did not complete the mission and task at hand that you were trying to do. So you didn't fail, because this is a failure. A person that keeps doing this over and over and over and over and over and never passes it. Then you fail. But I've seen people go a whole lot in doing the same thing over and over and over, and then they finally got over that hurdle. So they never failed. They just fail. So get back up, dust yourself off, create that positive mindset that, nothing is going to stop me. And then you can, get to where you need to go. That was the first one. The second one is don't dwell on your mistakes. Because when you dwell on your mistakes, then all you're doing is take time away from what you're trying to do to get to your goal. Don't dwell on it. It's okay. Okay, so you made a mistake. That's okay. It's just like, it's like getting an eraser off a pencil and erase what you did and then redo it, rewrite it. Okay, so if you dwell on it, then it's going to stay there. Get an eraser, erase what you did, erase that mistake, and let's do it over again. Okay, that's my second thing. The third, there is no success without failure. There is no success without failure. And you got to remind yourself that over and over and over. Remind yourself that there's no success without failure. Because I'm pretty sure the CEOs of Amazon, Netflix, and whoever, they've done a whole lot in their life that they failed at, but they kept going back to the drawing board and they actually, did what they needed to do to get over that hump, to get to where they need to be. So I'm sure they failed as well. So that's my third thing. My fourth thing is to focus on other goals. And the reason why I say that, because a lot of times, when you spend too much time on one goal, and it's not working out for you, then that's a lot of time taken that you could be focusing on something else. So I would say always have a backup plan for, something else if that's not working for you. Because you can't stay on what you're trying to do forever. I'll tell you that now. If you stay on that, you're losing time, you're losing ground, and it's just a waste of time. So focus on another goal. And I got two fifth things. Okay, so I want to put a timing together. Make sure that you are well organized. Okay, make sure you're well organized. Know the steps that you're planning to take and go by those steps. Don't cheat yourself. Don't jump from the number 1 to number 3. You're skipping number 2 because you may get to number 4. And then when you get to number 4, you got to go all the way back to number 2. So and the reason why I'm saying that, because people like to take shortcuts. And when you take those shortcuts, it come back to bite you after a while. And depending on what you're doing, because you do have some smart people out there that take shortcuts and they make it. But not everybody can take a shortcut and make it. So if you're just starting out, be well organized, and and what ties in with that is, take a step back to see what you did wrong and where you went wrong, and not do that again. Take a step back, make sure you see what went wrong and where you went wrong. And when you start again, when you dust yourself off and get back up, make sure you don't make those same mistakes. And that's my 5 tips to, to motivate, young teen men. That's it.
Those are some great ones.
Thank you.
Yeah. Type of stress I used to.
Yeah, I mean, all these things that we spoke about, I had to learn, myself, and not saying by myself, but I've learned it because I've I failed at a whole lot of things too. Being in the military, being in the sports arena, being in the educational field, it was a lot of things that was against me, that I had to overcome. And I did a whole lot of falling. If I had to show people my pants, I have holes on both of my knees because I done fell so many times. But now I got knee pads on, so when I fall, I ain't got no marks on my knees now. I know exactly what I need to do. So everything that we're discussing today, I've been through all of that, and I just want to say to anyone that's listening, it's a great thing to have someone to be able to talk to you and let you know about their failures, because their experiences will be able to help you along your way. Because this is what I've always said as an educator, and this is how I feel about other people listening to you. They rather listen to someone that's been through the fire, that's been in the pits, than someone that's reading it out of a book because they're smart. They rather say, you know what, this guy done did it, he done been through it, and look at him now, than a professor that gets up there and say, well, because of what's happening in this book right here, this is what happened. No, they rather listen to somebody that's been through the fire. So, teach, educate, give experience, be a good mentor, and you'll help all these kids out there that want to make it to the next level and that really want to try. So, that's what I want to say in reference to that.
Okay, all of that was great information. So everyone, I'm pretty sure that someone that's not on here that could benefit from this information. So you know what to do. You got to share so that they can get the information. Say teach, educate, and use your experience.
Yes. Teach, educate, use your experience, because a lot of people want to know, that, what, if he fell and he fell down and he got back up, he dusted himself off, I can do the same thing.
Right.
Because I ain't no better than nobody else. I don't care how many degrees I got. I don't care how many championships I done won. I ain't no better than nobody else. Everybody can do exactly what they want to do if they put their mind to it. But they just need that encouragement. They need that push, and they need for the people that's been through it to talk to them and sit them down, let them know that, what, through experience, this is what you can gain. But, you really have to, buy into it. And you got to get them to buy into it. In order to get them to buy into it, you need to be real with them and let them know, okay, this is a possibility that this is not going to work, but you can always do this, It's always an A, B, and C. You know, never give up on because A didn't work. You got that B, C, and D. And you never know, that B, C, and D may be your money maker. You know, it may be what you really wanted your goal to end up being. It may be a goal that you didn't even have down. You mess around and do something else that you're better at than what you had planned to do from the beginning.
All right. Great. That's awesome, awesome, awesome information. Now, you have given us a lot of great tips, a lot of good information. But is there, as we prepare to close, is there anything else that you thought of that you would like to share before you leave today?
Yes, I would like to say that, one, thank you for having me on. You know, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I've learned a lot, you know, and just listening to you. I know you're doing awesome things. And for anybody that's listening, please keep tuning in, because this is a great podcast, a great show. And also, if you want to get in touch with me, go to motivatetoeducateyou.com, www.motivatetoeducateyou.com. If you want me to come to your schools or your city or anything to speak, you know, I am a motivational educational speaker. And my email is Dr. Kevin Wilbon 5@gmail.com. Again, it's Dr. Kevin Wilbon, the number 5@gmail.com. And I would love to come to your city and or wherever you are and come and speak, you know, to anyone if if that's something that you want to do. I also have a book coming out before November, and the name of the book is My Life's Journey: Struggles and Challenges from DC to DR. And the DC means District of Columbia, which is in DC, and DR is, you know, for my doctorate degree. So be on the lookout for that. And I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything that you've done for us.
Is your, excuse me, is doctor spelled out or just DR?
Answer is D.R. It'll be DC. It's a DR. Just like that, how I got on the screen, that DR, that's how it's going to be on the book.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So D.R. Kevin Wilbon 5@gmail.com.
Yes. Oh, actually, it's and it's lowercase DR with no periods. I'm sorry. It's the regular DR Kevin Wilbon 5@gmail.com. No period on the DR.
Is that right?
Yep, that is exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, .com. I think you got CPM.
What I got? CPM.
Well, I'm sure they know put COM. Yeah, but that is exactly right. I appreciate that. And any feedback that they want to give me on, you know, what we talked about today, they can email me, and, you know, the whole 9 yards, and they can, you know, get in touch with me that way.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So you have that information. So make sure that you hit him up and look out for his book, because we want our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors, our students to be the best that they can. And the only way that they can do that is if we get this information to them. You know, if we have it and we're holding on to it, and you know, they can't get it, then it's not going to do them any good. So please, please, please make sure that you're sharing that information. And please go to my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. And that's where you can find out my calendar of events, more about the website or what I'm doing. If this is your first time on, you can check out my blog. I drop a new blog every Monday. And of course, you can visit my web store. And out on my web store, I have all my the services that I offer, which is speaking, webinar speaking, coaching, consultations. And you can get an autographed copy of this book. Hey, it's October, it's Christmas time. We'll be here soon. This will make a great gift. We need to get our young people reading more, reading good stuff that's going to help them to prosper in life. This is a quick read. It has a section in the back for them to put their goals and information in here. So this would make a great gift. And it's not just for our young people, it's for parents, grandparents, mentors, what have you. So if you know someone, like I said, it makes a great gift. And many of you know who follow me that I just got back from my Bahamas missions trip, my missions tour. Thank you so much, everybody that supported me and to help me get there. I got there on the 6th. And when I tell you, it was an amazing time. I got an opportunity to spend at different schools, churches, and other organizations. So I'm going to share a little bit about those things that I did, maybe some pictures on Thursday. As Carol and I have our coffee chat, we're going to be talking a little bit about my missions tour. But I did have an opportunity to share. I think I donated about 55 books to some young people over there. But it was very, very, it was just too much. I just really, really enjoyed it. It was more than I could have ever expected. And it's just so funny. I've always been this person, when you're walking down the street or you enter a room and, it's like, well, good morning. And, people just look at you like, do I have two heads? Why are they looking at me like that? And half of the people don't speak. This size, all the children, everybody I meet, good morning, good afternoon, good morning. I was like, oh my goodness. I was loving it. So it was just a different culture and I enjoyed it so very much. But again, thank you for that opportunity and tune in Thursday at 6:30 p.m. as Carol and I have our coffee chat. Looking forward to seeing you. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember, as you travel on your road to being a better you, you will run into distractions, pitfalls, rough terrain, and detours. Don't let any of those negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going to be a better you so that you can build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. Thank you. I love you so much. Continue to be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope to see you on Thursday. Be blessed. Bye-bye.